So, hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hidden Gems. I'm your host, Miss Ebony Empress, and today I have a great guest for you. Surprise, surprise. I have a young lady called Cynthia Simmons. She gonna smile because she is a young lady and she's very beautiful too. And she is my hidden gem. And I just want to introduce Cynthia to you. Hi, Cynthia. Welcome to the show.
Hi, sweetie. So good to see you.
Yeah, so tell me about the secret you've been holding for some of the people in the world, because some of us know about Cynthia and who you are, but tell us a bit of who you are.
So my name is Dr. Cynthia Simmons. And first, let me explain that. I don't want anybody to think I'm a medical doctor. I received an honorary doctorate from Cornerstone Christian University for my works in helping others overcome. And how was I able to do that? So I've battled 4 different cancers. I was given 6 months to live in October of 2009. I was fired from 2 jobs because of cancer, which really was a blessing for me in disguise because my purpose was revealed. And that's how I became the author, the speaker. And what I did is I went on a journey. God spoke to me and he said, "You are my messenger. I need you to go share with the people the message that they have a purpose." And so I went on this journey to start sharing with people that they had a purpose. They were sent here for a reason. And in that journey of helping people, someone happened to hear about it and contacted this university and nominated me. And the board of directors decided that I should be awarded an honorary doctorate. So hence the Dr. Cynthia Simmons.
Oh, amazing.
And that's how the
amazing.
journey began.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you, sweetie.
Congratulations. And so I feel, oh, this is such a great opportunity for me to interview Dr. Cynthia Simmons. So, yeah.
No, let me get my head going. I didn't let it go to my head though.
Oh no, you deserved it. So tell us why you deserved it, because I know you said God spoke to you and he told you that people have a purpose and you've been spreading that message. But
yes,
it started with the big C, which people call the big C. How did you feel? What kind of cancers did you have? Let's get to what you had first and then how you felt about it.
Okay. So in 93, I had cervical cancer. They said I would never have children again. And in 99, I gave birth to a beautiful baby. So that was my first blessing and showing the doctors, you guys don't know what you're talking about. In 2003, I battled breast cancer and was fired from an amazing job. I went back into my normal work field. I was working for a government agency when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so I went back into the medical field. I was working in the OR and I came down. Well, it actually took them about 1.5 years to diagnose me. They actually almost killed me before because they kept misdiagnosing and misdiagnosing and misdiagnosing me. And what I was battling was Langerhans cell histiocytosis, which is very rare. There wasn't a doctor in this state that could treat me or that had knowledge of it. It's all research, protocol, treatment. And so once they figured out what it had run rampant in my body. And they brought me in and set me down in October of 2009. And they said to me, "You have multi-vital organ involvement with very poor prognosis, at best 6 months." And I'll never forget that day as long as I live, that doctor leaning into me, so sad and so solemn. And I took his hands off my knees And I put my hands on his knees and I leaned into him and I said, you do me a favor. You be the doctor and let God be the timekeeper.
Yeah.
I said, I could walk out of this office and get hit by a car. And you said I had 6 months. And so after that one cleared up, I did battle with skin cancer. And so that was the 4: cervical, breast, Langerhans, and skin.
Right. Wow. And did you just use traditional methods to kind of heal your body, or were you using alternative treatments?
So if I smiled, it's because I get this question a lot. And
Yeah.
I get it from doctors.
Oh,
They
wow.
want to know what's the secret. The secret really is mindset.
Right.
So I talk to people who have battled anything, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, about saying, I have cancer. I have diabetes. I have heart disease. I have high blood pressure. That word means that you have owned it.
Mm.
You have taken possession of it. And so I say to people, instead of saying I have, say I'm battling, I'm fighting, I'm going through, I'm dealing with, but don't say I have. And I say to doctors, please don't tell patients your results came back. You have cancer. Don't say that. Your results came back. They were positive for malignancy. We're going to help you fight this, get through this, or battle this. That is resistance. And so when people are thinking, like when people are alone in their alone moments, laying down, and thoughts go through their mind, and they're thinking to themselves, oh my God, I'm going to die. I have cancer. Don't do that. That's where we need to stop, because when the brain is talking, the body is listening. And that's where you have to stop. And so when they ask me, Cynthia, what have you done? How did you get through this? It was my mindset and refusing to allow my brain to tell my body what I have.
Right. Wow, that is awesome. What an
I didn't
awesome
change
story.
drinking coffee, eating something different. I did not do that. And it upsets a lot of people when I say that, because I said, I didn't change anything. I didn't change anything. The
And there is
mindset,
an assumption that you would have done.
that's what it is. It's an assumption. And you know what happens when we assume things. We should not assume things.
Absolutely. That's why I asked the question. What did you do?
Yeah.
Okay, so you battled these diseases. Yeah, diseases
Ah,
in your
good for you.
in
There
your
it is.
body. Okay, you took control of your health. How was that for your family? How, because our families go through all of this with us. So what
Mm.
was it like for the people in your family? How positive were they for you?
So if you look behind me, I have a book right here, and it's called A Breast Cancer Notification: The Emotional Details Others Don't Tell You. This is not about me. I was notified that I had breast cancer. And then I had to notify my family, my friends, my loved ones, right? And it's what they went through. The book talks about my children screaming bloody murder in this house. How am I supposed to live without you? What's going to happen when I get married? What about when I have children? You can't do this. And so it's about what families go through, because everybody talks about their journey, right? And how hard it was for them. But for me, I was watching everybody else. And I would tell people when they'd say, I'm going to call you. And I'd say, you know what? Don't call me. Call my kids and ask them, how are they? Call my husband.
Yeah.
check on them, because the caretakers, nobody ever calls to see how is the caretaker.
Yeah, absolutely. You are so right. You are so,
Yeah.
because I had that when my dad was ill. My dad had a stroke, battled for 6 years, and at the end of it succumbed to a whole number of, it wasn't just a stroke, he had diabetes, he had heart disease, a lot of stuff. He was, maybe if it was just a stroke, he would have probably come around, but all the other things kicked in. And I think, again, mindset. I think in the last trimester of his illness, he lost hope. I feel like he gave up,
Yeah.
and I think you're right. Mindset is everything, because we will get challenges. It really is how we, how we manage those, how we manage ourselves through those challenges, especially health ones. They're the biggest ones, because, that can take you out, all the plans of a holiday, whatever, seeing your kids through college, walking them up the aisle, all the things that, those milestones, they go like that. So I am gonna say you're my hidden gem, because you have resilience. Okay.
Yeah.
You have resilience for life. And that is definitely demonstrated by your response to something that would knock a lot of people over. And that would be like, I'm done. I'm just waiting for it to happen now. So great for you. And I think that's wonderful. And I love that you say that you then had a message to take out to the world. How did that work? And how has that been for you?
So it was pretty amazing how that even happened. The day when that doctor said to me, you have 6 months, and I came home, I was sitting in what is now my office. It wasn't at that time, but it is now, because everything got transformed. I came home and I was sitting and I was looking out the window, and we have a big oak tree out here. And I seen these two squirrels chasing each other in the yard. And they were just running around and running, and they seemed so happy, just like chasing each other, running around. And I'm just watching them, and I thought, wow, that's amazing. No one will ever say to them that they have 6 months or they have cancer, or that will never happen.
It doesn't happen.
No, they will never clock in to a job. They're not worried about the job loss. I was fired from 2 jobs. It doesn't matter to them. They don't have to go to the grocery store. They could care less if they have the big house on the block with the beautiful cars sitting outside. And they're so happy. They're so happy. Yet they have none of those things.
Yeah.
And as I was watching them play and chase, an oak leaf broke off of the big oak tree outside. And it was like a yellowish red. And it just twirled, and I watched it just twirl. Now, remember, the doctor just said to me, you have 6 months. I'm at home watching squirrels play and oak leaves fall. When I had all the time in the world, I didn't have time for that. But now he
You don't
says
say
to
yes
me,
to that.
right now he says to me, I have 6 months and I find time to watch squirrels play. Excuse me. And so I watched this leaf twirl all the way to the ground. And just as it touched, and I promise you, as I'm sitting here today, I heard a voice. Cynthia, everything that has life has purpose. You have a purpose. You are the messenger. And trust me, I thought, uh-oh, it's not going to take 6 months. It's only taken 6 hours. I was like, I think I'm slipping. I'm on my way out.
Oh.
I'm hearing voices. What's happening? And so I'm like, what? Go share the message that people have a purpose. Everything that has life has purpose. You have purpose, Cynthia.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, wait, what? I'm not sure what's happening right now. What's happening right now? And so I went on this journey to discover, what am I supposed to be doing? And then it made sense. He kept closing these doors, and I kept going back and applying for another job and applying. And then I would get sick again, and then I would lose another job. And it was like, and you keep trying to do this on your own. And when are you going to realize I'm going to keep closing doors and closing doors and closing doors until you listen to me? Go tell the people they have a purpose. And so that's what I've been doing. And until my purpose is carried out and I've shared it with enough people, I guess that's when he'll come and get me.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I want to tell you a good story though, with all of that said. That same week, I went to do my own funeral arrangements. My family had been through so much. They had been through so much. I just could not imagine the agony of having to make funeral arrangements for a mother, for a wife. You know what I mean? I just didn't want them to have to. So I'm a very free-spirited person, in case nobody can tell. I go to the funeral home. I walk in. The funeral director walks up to me and he says, "May I help you?" Very solemn. You know, we're in a funeral home. And I said, "Yes, I need to make funeral arrangements." And he said, "I'm so sorry. Is it a family member?" And I went, "Oh, well, I kind of. "Oh, a dear friend?" I said, "I like to think so." And he said, "Well, maybe you can tell me." I said, "It's me." And he went, "You're not thinking of doing anything rash, are you?" And I went, "Me? Oh, no, never. That will
Oh,
never happen." I said, "No, I've just been through a lot and I don't want my family to have to go through anything else." And I said, "And I know my husband, he's going to spend way too much money. Throwing dirt on a mahogany casket would freak me out. All that money and you throw dirt on top of it? What?" And I said, "So I want to do this myself. I don't want them paying a lot of money. I don't want them going through that emotion and that sorrow. I'm going to write my own obituary. I'm going to write my own thing. I'm going to pick my own music. I'm going to pick my own casket. I'm going to do it all myself." And I said, "I just have two requests." And he said, "And they are?" I said, "Well, I need coffee because I don't know if God has coffee in heaven." I said, "I'm sure he has water." And we've all heard about the holy water, but I said, "So I'm not concerned about the water, but I need the coffee." And I said, "And the other thing, there's one other thing that I want." And he said, "What's that?" I said, "You know how they make cars now and they have the latch release inside so that if you're ever stuck in the trunk, you can get out?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "I want a latch release inside my casket." And he just stood there and stared at me and he says,
she's
"Excuse
crazy.
me?" He said, "Excuse me?" And I said, "Well, perhaps the reason nobody's come back to tell us what's happening is
They
because they
haven't got
can't
that
get
latch.
out." They can't get out. And I said, "So I'm claustrophobic. And so I need a latch release, just a latch release and coffee, and I'm good." And we laughed so much in that funeral home. And when I left, he said to me, "I have never had so much fun making funeral arrangements." And he said, "But I can bet you one thing, you're not going anywhere in 6 months." He
Wow.
said, "They picked the wrong person." And so I like to think that taking that attitude
Mm-hmm.
of playing with what was happening in my life, and instead of turning it to pain and sorrow, which it was a lot of times, there were many crying days,
Yeah.
but I turned it to laughing and let's make jokes. And, I have a prosthesis and Well, I'm not going to go there because it's probably not appropriate for this show.
Okay. Okay.
But my husband hates that I have because it's like, don't say the wrong thing. I will pull this out and I will throw it at you.
Oh, bless. You brought some humor to what is a very, what would you say, dry subject, a subject that nobody wants to talk about.
Very dry. You can
Very
trust that.
dry. It has no humor in it. You know, it's
Ebony,
not
here's
good.
the thing, sweetie. If you don't laugh, you're going to
Yeah,
cry.
absolutely.
And laughing is healing. And it's the attitude that we take in life. Everybody goes through things. And I tell people all the time because they'll say, oh my God, well, I haven't been through nothing that bad. Well, wait, stop. Whoa. Let me tell you something. Your worst is your worst.
Mm.
There is no, this is not, can we compare? What you have gone through and whatever has been the worst thing in your life was the worst thing in your life.
Yeah.
And it's not comparable because that was the worst for you. And it was just as hard for you in that worst of your life as it was for me in the worst of my life.
Yeah.
And so people say, how did you do it? I could never do it. Oh my God, I don't think. Yes, you could.
Mm.
Yes, you could. I live by a never give up mentality. It's what I teach, preach, and talk about. And it's taking that mentality and saying, I refuse to quit.
Yeah.
And going from
Absolutely.
tragedy to triumph, struggle to success, and your test becomes your testimony.
Absolutely. Okay. So given that you have such a powerful testimony and such a powerful story of your survival, you know, against all odds, you survived. How do you want to be remembered? You know, should you leave this earth? Like, what would you like people to say about you? How do you want to be remembered?
You know, the last chapter in my new book is etch your name in more than a tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
Etch your name in more than a tombstone. Leave a legacy. Leave your name somewhere. So when people see something or hear I have people that come up to me all the time and they say, I was watching these squirrels play the other day and the first thing I thought of was you.
Yeah.
That's a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
I had someone on Clubhouse tell me, you saved my life. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? And he said, I was battling COVID so bad. I was laying in my bed and I know I was dying.
Oh.
He said, and I was looking out the window and Cynthia, I swear to God, a leaf fell past my window. And when I seen it, the first thing I thought about was that story that you told. He said, and it made me grab myself and get out of that bed and stand up and do something or lay there and die.
Yeah.
And he said, that's when you know your story is impactful. And I just thought, I'm just the messenger. I don't know who I'm supposed to move, who I'm supposed to touch. I'm just the messenger.
Well, I want to thank you for obeying the call. Obeying.
I wonder what had happened if I wouldn't have needed a latch release. It would have been hot.
Oh, Lord.
It would have
Oh,
melted my casket.
yes, yes. And long may you live and never have to have that experience, because I feel like you are the best gem I've had so far on this show. I thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I genuinely, I've been touched today by your story. And I know that you're going to keep touching lives. I know that you will continue to live that purpose that God has given you. You know, and I really want to send you lots of great energy and love. And my prayers are with you and your family as you go on this journey. Keep being the great gem that you are. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
You've been a blessing, sweetie. Let me just say, I'm more honored to be here.
Yeah.
That you even felt it in your heart to bring me here. But again, I'm just the messenger. I just go where God leads me. And he just led me to you.
Well, you know what? I spent last night talking to another Cynthia. You'll know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And we sat up until 1 o'clock or later. I think it was about 1:30. We were talking about my purpose and the one that I haven't answered yet. And I feel like this conversation has helped me to really be clear on what God is trying to ask me to do. So I thank you for shining that light in my life. And nothing is by accident. Everything has a reason. And I thank you so much. I thank you for all you are. And
You'll have to get my new book.
I have to get both books.
Purposely Unemployable. That's where it's at. That's where the message is.
That's the first one. And
Yeah.
the second one is just
No,
remind.
That's the second one. Yeah, it's going to be launching soon because I'm taking it to the Emmys next month, remember?
Oh, wow. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Oh, wow. I wish you luck with that. I'm sure it's going to be amazing and you are going to be absolutely awesome. And yeah, please share it with me, everything with me. And I'm going to put the tags on with this recording as it goes up to YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. And thank you for being a great gem. Continue shining out there in this world. So thank you. Thanks again.
Thank you, Ebony.
And take care.